I'd love for you to get your thoughts on what Jack Mallers is doing now with 21, with Cantor Fitzgerald and Tether and Nakamoto, like all these companies, these new entities now being formed specifically to acquire Bitcoin, develop products and services, etc. I would love you to unpack this a little bit and give your thoughts.
Well, I mean, some might say that he's doing too much, right? A lot of people, when you think about the best investors or the best founders, the best entrepreneurs, the best creators, most of them were like really laser focused on like one thing. And so they see all of these different companies that he has, whether it's, Strike and all of these different products, and or he sees 21 Capital, and they think he's sort of diverted, but he's still really only focusing on one major thing, which is Bitcoin is going to transform capital. It's going to transform payments, which is, I think, really the thing that he got into it for. I think more so than the treasury strategy, like $42 billion, we're going to be the MicroStrategy 2.0. I mean, Tether's a money machine. Don't get me wrong. But the idea, when you look at where Strike has been able to try to get into other countries and other places and allow you to, exchange one currency for another just through the Lightning Network, and you don't even need to know how it happened. I mean, the bigger story is that it's going to be embedded into the global financial system. Like Tether plus Strike, or that sort of infrastructure sitting on top, is really going to allow Bitcoin native payments and functionality, and for the dollar to become the global reserve currency in a way that's user friendly, in a way that's on your phone, in a way that's easy for people to interact with. I'm no I think ranker of, Bitcoin exchanges. There's a lot of great Bitcoin only companies out there. I think most people would say that Strike is probably the easiest to use in terms of the interface, in terms of how simple it is for people to get onboarded and how successfully they've done that in other countries across the world. That's the bigger story with 21 Capital. It's stable coins. Tether's stable coin is going to be integrated into a Bitcoin native network that will be accessible to people through a simple app and phone everywhere around the world. I think that's more interesting than the 42 billion, Bitcoin treasury strategy.
It's fascinating. Transitioning just a little bit, what do you think of the Bitcoin bill, or eventually maybe a Bitcoin bill or whatever? What would you like to see in it? Because we talked earlier about just business adoption. We talked about people utilizing Bitcoin, things of that nature. What would you like to see in a bill? Would it be a de minimis exemption of capital gains? Would it be a full capital gains repeal? Would it be legal tender? Like, what do you see in a Bitcoin? Is it that, the country buying Bitcoin? If it's Dante crafting the bill, what would you be really aiming to put into that?
The number one bill that needs to be passed in terms of Bitcoin and Bitcoin adoption at the state level is Bitcoin being counted as a like-kind asset, like real estate. So anyone who's ever been in real estate, there's this method, I believe it's called the 1031 exchange, right? Where if you sell an asset or a piece of real estate within 180 days, if you transfer that asset into another asset, you don't have to pay any capital gains. And this is what happens in real estate. One, you get 30x leverage, right? You get put to, a few percent down. The bank will give you all of this money out of thin air. And then once you have gotten equity in that property, well, the idea is that you would never sell it, right? That's the famous Warren Buffett strategy. Like, tax is going to kill your compounding more so than the asset itself. And so if Bitcoin were to be treated like that, there's $330 trillion worth of assets that people are trying to get out of right now. I don't know if you drive down your street. Sometimes I just go on Zillow for fun or Redfin and look at how long these houses have been on the market. The days on the market number is creeping up. The housing inventory number is creeping up. The number of permits but non-starts in terms of new builds is creeping up. Mortgage applications are down. This is an asset class that, one, no one can afford, no one can buy, and no one can get rid of. And so one of the most massive flows of capital that would come into Bitcoin would be literally if Bitcoin would be treated as a like-kind asset, either from or into real estate if you sold it. Because if we think of it as property, just digital property, we think of it in the same terms of ways that real estate investors already think of this stuff. I mean, a lot of people get into Bitcoin mining because it makes sense for them in terms of monthly recurring rental income, where I have to think about my vacancy rates and I have a property manager who handles it and takes a percentage. Like, people already think in that mindset. I think that'll be the most massive capital unlock, along with like capital gains tax removals in general. But I think the ability to treat it like a like-kind asset where real estate investments can flow into Bitcoin, and or I can sell Bitcoin and buy physical property back in the real world, is going to be an unlock.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Do you think that's really, like, do you think the capital gains part of that just itself, like, to me, it's something I've thought about a lot over the years of just like, oh, you know, I would love to use this even more, but it's, there's capital gains and it's just like tracking things, whatever. Do you think just that alone is a huge unlock? Because people, it's always like, well, where one of the, I'm sure you see it all the time. You're like on YouTube comments or whatever it is. It's like, well, can I buy, something in a grocery store with it? Ha ha ha. And it's like, yeah, of course it's hard right now. It's harder because we have capital gains. What happens when that's unlocked? I mean, is that how you see it?
Yeah. I mean, everyone tries to like poo-poo on Square a lot. One, they've had this lightning ability in their back pocket for years. Literally, I think in 3 months, if there was a clear regulation around capital gains taxes, Square would flip on Bitcoin and Lightning payments at all of their point of sale terminals across the globe, like overnight. And the reason why like that comment is super frustrating to me of like, yeah, but you can't pay for coffee with it. One, if you think about it from the coffee shop or the restaurant owner's perspective, like, I had to pay my baristas and my waiters and waitresses today. I paid for the inventory and the goods and materials that you're eating right now 2 weeks ago. And what you're paying me for this thing right now, I'm not going to get in my account for 7 days. Like, that cash conversion cycle is not good for any business. Like, that's why working capital is the number one constraint in most small businesses. It's why most small businesses fail. It's not because, they can't think in their brain that, oh, the sandwich cost me $5 and I need to sell it for $7. Okay. Everybody can do that. What about the duration and time mismatch of when cash hits my account versus the goods and material and people I need to pay in order to generate that product?
If you like that clip, then you definitely got to check out this next spicy clip. I think you're really going to like it. Come on, check it out. But if you want the full version, the full interview, then check that out over here. Come on, do it. I'll see you in there.